Escalar, sweet Escalar. The days become the days. Oh, the light's blinking. That means I'm on camera. Oh, I'm not on camera. I'm sitting on the couch scratching my belly. I've become so civilized. At any rate, hi, I'm Escalar. If you know who I am, then I'm your old pal Escalar. And if you don't know who I am, I'm your new pal Escalar. And if you'd like to know what I'm talking about today, I'm giving another in an ongoing series called Mything Persons, where I discuss matters mythological. Yes, with you, because, heck, I guess you were bored. So was I. So let's do this. Ready? Okay. Let's jump into it. There's spikes down there. They always put spikes down there. So anyway, the alchemist. Well, we have this picture of a man in a tight blue robe, right, hanging straight to the floor. He's got this like dark Van Dyke. He's got these piercing eyes. He's wearing a skull cap with some gold and some cloth and metal on it. And he's got like that hood behind him on the robe. And he looks like he should be like in a Conan movie. This guy, right? With some cartoon from a comic book, but no, it wasn't. He's right out of a real person in real history. That's right. Let's take a date, 1580 AD, and we're going to say that in the court of Queen Elizabeth of England, the iconic queen, there was a man called John Dee, and John Dee dressed just like that and looked just like that. And he was a court thaumatician, thaumaturge, metaphysician. They had many names, but pretty much the same job, keeping a royal person amused. Probably the most difficult job on earth if you don't have a hot body. You know what I'm saying? And even that wears, after 30, 40 times a day. So, So now you got to amuse the Queen of England, the crazy queen, the whoa, holy moly, here she comes again, hide, everybody hide, Queen of England. And she's pretty much a complete nutter. And I think a little brilliant herself too, by the way. But anyway, it was a dangerous time to be in the court of the English king, and it's not the only dangerous time because royals are in general complete nutters, and we all know that. Come on. Anyway, it's a psychological thing. Talk to a psychiatrist, ask them, well, if a person has absolute power and it's sort of mulled at a distance, but right in their personal reach, they can do anything they want, including throw tantrums and knives at people. Does that make them more likely or less likely to become mature? So anyway, the point being, Elizabeth, who was not going to be queen, right? First it was going to be Henry's boy, and he died. Then it was going to be, her sister, who was a complete nutter. Like, the whole family, Henry VIII, King of England in one of its most incredible periods of history, was a person focused on his pecker and his fine legs. That was it. Wait, read it. Read the history. It's more fun than listening to... No, it's not. No, keep listening. But anyway, the point being, Elizabeth, in the end, became queen, and she was a complete nutter. And she also reigned over one of the greatest periods in English history. I think the English would say this is when we became, right, who we are today. The conquerors, the people that sailed across the world, the people that maintained coaling stations and oiling stations all across the world until it became so expensive that no one but the United States could do it anymore. This is the amaterial people. So, she had a court metaphysician, thaumaturge, right, named John Dee. And John Dee dressed with a skull cap with gold filigree and a tight blue robe with a high backed cowl. And, he had the Van Dyke, and he would mix things together and throw powders on the fire, make crazy stuff happen. They'd expound on things. Ooh. You see, the mercury is a liquid metal, and if you pour it in here, it will displace the water. Look at the way that, ooh, ah, ooh. That was the thing. So, today they have people like that, Bill Nye Science Guy. Wait, you don't think that that's still happening? It's the popularization of science, of technology, of whatever. Hi, kids. I'm Ready Kilowatt. I am produced by nuclear waste. I mean, whoa, 3 Mile Island, where there'll never be a problem, ever. They won't have to remove a cubic mile of Earth that's so irradiated that they couldn't let it stay there after they shut the plant down. Sorry, back on my topic. I'm not Ready Kilowatt, I'm Eshkalar. But so, the point is that this guy, John Dee, the thaumaturge in Queen Elizabeth's court, was our classical idea of what an alchemist is. A person that used very rude, but still substantive, chemistry to create an effect. Today we have that person, his idea was to achieve infinite life and to be able to transfer base materials into gold. Now, fast forward to the future. Today we have Dow Chemical, which is the modern iteration of the thaumaturge, the alchemist. And at Dow Chemical, there is a small group of people who are all very closely related, a family, a hierarchy, if you will, a dynasty, if you don't mind, that have controlled the largest, most influential company in the United States military-industrial complex. They make our fertilizers. They make our explosives. So they are alchemists in the modern sense. And though not immortal individually, the family is immortal. And so here they have changed base metals into gold, into incredible, uncountable fortunes of gold, like dragon hordes of gold, because they're so powerful and their families are so rich. And this ruling family has in it become immortal. That is the goal of every alchemist. So many things have been attempted in the past before this formula was finally understood by the people who run Dow and have run Dow for many, many years. But they tried things based on sympathetic magic. Gold never tarnishes, so it must be good for promoting life so that you never tarnish. You see what I mean? Sympathetic magic. Infusion. Well, if a little gold doesn't kill you, maybe it'll impart some of its qualities to you, right? You'll eat the heart of your enemy and gain his courage, so to speak. Well, that's all things they tried in the old days. If you mix enough of this and that inside a woman, you get a baby. Maybe I could do that in a lab. Anybody doing that today? Yeah, they do. They see government funding too. Oh, interesting. So, these things were alchemy. The idea that you could live forever if you could mix enough things properly and then drink it or eat it or grab it on your scanner. Yeah. Give it to the people that were asking for money so they didn't bother you anymore. Stress relieved, you live forever. But no, I'm kidding. So, that's the basis of alchemy. One is that you would live forever if you mastered the components, if you mastered the ways of the world enough to understand how to mix something. In other words, how to cast a spell made of materials rather than simple understanding, which is what a spell is. Right? The idea of a magic spell is that you would know the order of words so well that when you said something, it had such truth that the universe was compelled to obey you. That's the idea of magic and spell casting. And then, that if you understood the substances of the world enough, you could mix them, and you could promote your life indefinitely and live forever. And you could change base substances that nobody needed, bird shit, into gold, mountains of gold. And that's how they used to make explosives. Guano. Yeah, all kinds of craziness, right? Well, that's what alchemy is. Alchemy is the combining of materials to make effects that you didn't expect, or that will lead you to prolonging life and changing base elements into gold. One method of changing a base element into gold is to sell it at the market. Another way is to combine it with some other base element and sell it at the market for more. Because, you know, you can sell people a lot of charcoal cheap. And you can sell them a lot of potassium nitrate cheap. Heck, it can be used as a preservative salt. You know what I mean, right? And you can certainly buy a lot of sulfur cheap. There's guys over in Indonesia living to 35 and dying of, what is it, ultramicroscopic volcanosilicosis. Yeah. It's a word. Look it up. People use it to say, oh, anti-establishmentarianism isn't the longest word. It's ultramicroscopic volcanosilicosis. Okay. But you don't want anybody to suffer from it. Because it's mean. It ruins your lungs and you die. You know, you huff yourself to death because there's so much chemical in your air while you're mining sulfur. You get these micro lesions in your lungs and they just turn into garbage. So anyway, the point being, that's alchemy. The idea that you can create, get this, you can take this charcoal, which is cheap, you can take this sulfur, which is cheap, but it costs people's lives, and you could take this, which means something. It means these people's lives are cheap. Think about what that means, and understand that no system is perfect. All systems can stand improvement. So anyway, and then you mix this cheap charcoal and this cheap sulfur and this cheap saltpeter, it's called. You know, it's a preservative salt, right? Potassium nitrate. Guess what happens? If somebody is wise in the mixture of things and knows how to grind it very small, he can, and very even, that's part of it too, he can create gunpowder, which has an effect out of proportion to the contributions that its individual chemicals make. That's alchemy. That's chemistry. That's alchemical. So, alchemy works. You can mix base elements together and create one of the largest corporations of all time, shielding one family that makes all the money and is pretty much immune from any prosecution. We'll see what happens with the opioid thing, but I think it's not going to go anywhere because those people are the reason that people are in power. I don't think you can pull them down. I don't think you should pull them down because they'll claw at everything as they fall and they'll ruin everything. So you just kind of have to hope that they find something to divert themselves from ruining our lives and still make whatever it is that makes them happy. Right? Invent harmonic kill line. Thank you. But anyway, the point I'm trying to make is that is what alchemy was for, was that you could combine gold with things. And because gold is eternal and immortal, you can become eternal and immortal. And many Chinese emperors pursued that. Look it up. It's true. It's in a book. That doesn't make it true. But still, Eshkalar knows because I'm Eshkalar. Aren't you glad you're not? But isn't it cool that I am, right? That's how I have to look at it, because otherwise I cry more. And it makes my ass look bad. So anyway, and then it's hard to see my belly. Oh, I'm scratching. So anyway, that's the essence, that you could combine gold with substances and create immortality potions and live forever. Or an immortality infusion or a salve, whatever. And the other one is that you could make gold easily by combining base elements and creating gold from them. And isn't that what capitalism is? Yeah, it is. And isn't a dynasty a form of immortality? Yeah, it is. And so alchemy is successful and has won. They changed the name of it. It's like changing the name of the mafia to unions. You know, yeah. Like nobody knows. Go to Hollywood. Jeez, go to Las Vegas. Oh, we're definitely mafia clean here. You see what I mean? So, yeah. But so that's the story. Alchemy is the truly powerful of all the mythological things, of all the storm gods and all the fire gods and all the elementals and all the wizardry and all that. The only one that really works is alchemy, because alchemists have made themselves the most important people in the world and the richest people in the world. And they've made themselves almost invisible. So we don't even see them. Oh yeah. They have created immortality, and they have created gold from base materials. So alchemy is real. It's a thing. This is Rogue Pal Eshklar, hopefully entertaining you. Here on whatever the heck this day is. It's the 8th of April 2022, which means it's a Friday. This is a Friday. Holy mackerel, I got stuff to do. I have a blog to do. Oh, I just did it. I win.